Hi, my name is Mindy Mylrea. Welcome to Fluid Strength. I'm so glad that you're here joining me today. I'm going to be showing you progressions and regressions for the active older adult, but this program definitely is challenging and it is inspired by functional training movement. Now, a little about me. I am the creator of the gliding discs. This gliding disc allows you to change the exercise based on if you want to make it easier, harder, or just different by shifting your body weight. So I'll explain a lot of that as we go along. The discs are for both the carpet and also for the hardwood floor. You will notice that I'm going to be doing 6 different sequences. Each sequence is going to use body weight first and then the gliding discs, so you have lots of variety for your active aging clients. We also in this program are going to talk about in-the-moment training and how to use your body in all sorts of ways in transitional movements, because many times the active ager doesn't have an issue with exercise, but getting in and out of the exercise sequences, and I will be explaining lots of ways to incorporate that into your teaching and your skills. A little more about me. As you notice, I'm in front of an RV called One Day to Wellness. My husband Bruce and I own the company One Day to Wellness. We are a nonprofit 501c3 corporation that we travel all over the world speaking on wellness, nutrition, and fitness. And fitness that is functional. I'm going to be saying that word a lot in the next hour, because just like the Functional Aging Institute, we are functional in nature. We provide information that is grounded in science and research, and also that you use in everyday life, not just in the aerobic studio. So I'm very excited to be bringing this to you. You need to look at all of the exercise sequences that I'm going to be showing you today and use what is appropriate for your clients and students. Some are quite advanced. However, as you progress with your clients, you're going to see that they can do more and more and more. So let me talk first, before I show you the sequences, about cueing methodology. When you cue your students, you want to offer progressions as an opportunity to be successful. Instead of labeling cueing as beginner, intermediate, and advanced, you want to cue with progression in mind. So start everyone on the same playing field with the base move. Then as you progress, you add on incorporating and encouraging them to progress. If they don't like that progression, they can go back to the base move, and that's totally fine. You will definitely notice I use that methodology in all of my teaching and training. What is fluid strength? Fluid strength is in the moment movement. So as we go sequence from one movement to the other movement, or one side beginning to the end and then back again, we are encouraging our students to look at the movement and the moments in that movement, and those moments really matter. The in-between spaces make up this workout. It's not getting from one end to the other end, it's what happens in the middle. It's all of the movement transitions that make the difference with fluid strength. It is very functional in nature. So when I do a squat, I'm going to encourage my students to go all the way down, as low as they possibly can for their fitness level. Now, if someone is squatting down and that's all they feel they can go that day, that's totally fine. But I will encourage them to enjoy the moments in the movement and see if they can go a little bit lower. And I'll really define the squat in a little while. Untapped potential. What I want to encourage my students in fluid strength is to have this potential of expansion and also progression. So not do what you can do, but what are you capable of doing that you haven't tried yet? So fluid strength is all about the potential and the untapped potential. As we age, as we get older, we think that we settle, and we think that our best days are behind us. However, as I've noticed, I'm almost 60 years old, I found that I can move better now than I could when I was 30. The reason is because I allow myself to incorporate full range of motion movement in everything that I do, and the transitions between the start and the stop of the exercise matter. And that's what you want to do when you encourage your students to really feel and play with the intricacies of the exercises. Progressions and regressions. These are very important. As you progress an exercise, you want to watch your students and find out what areas of concern they have and also where they are struggling. For example, a burpee. We have been taught in the fitness industry that the way to regress a burpee is to go to the floor, extend your legs out, pull your legs in, and stand up. Well, I want to look at that completely different. What is the hardest part of an exercise? You want to look at the hardest part of the exercise and perhaps make that easier, but keep in all of those other parts. So I have a chair here because I want to encourage you to offer elevation opportunities to all of your students and clients, not just the active agers, but also the young ones as well. Because what is the hardest part of a push-up, of a burpee, of anything that's in the prone or plank position? It's getting to the floor. It's that transitional period to get down that low. So if we offer our students an opportunity to be successful higher, and the other thing too to think about is we do not live on our hands, right? We do not go into the grocery store and say, where's the quinoa? And then walk like this to find the quinoa. What we do instead is we walk on our feet. So when our students then come to our sessions or our classes or our trainings, they're not used to putting body weight on their upper body. When we have them place a lot of emphasis on their upper body for long periods of time, then other parts of their function falters. Have your students and clients have opportunities to be successful with part of their body weight supported by their hands, but perhaps more of their body weight being supported by their feet. So I have an elevation opportunity right here. You can use a bench, you can use a BOSU, you can use a step, whatever it is, but you have less body weight on my upper body, more body weight on my feet. So with a burpee, I'm going to hold the sides of the chair. I'm going to step out, I'm going to come in, and I'm going to stand up. But I'm also going to think about how I stand up. I want to ground my heels into the floor as I stand. That will then progress into better squats, better lunges, all of that. So I go down, I extend out, I come in, my heels are on the floor, I perhaps squat a little bit here, then I stand up. Without that thoughtful progression of movement and really looking at the transitions that we are incorporating into the mix, we're not thinking about that. We just go down, out, out, watch my heels, up, and then we stand up like this. We're not then engaging all the muscles that we can in that mix. So elevation is very important. For any kind of plank work, I have less body weight on my upper body, more body weight on my feet, and now I can really do a nice plank. How about an elbow plank? Same thing, just like this. But of course, with a hard surface, you would have something like a mat or a cushy surface there for the elbows and any hard surfaces. So you want to really think about that. Elevation opportunities, I call them. Untapped potential, yes, at every turn, by your cueing methodology, offering progressions and regressions of exercise when they're ready and when they need to. Again, this program is advanced. However, I'm going to be showing you ways to regress the exercise using the elevation opportunity at every turn. You can use the gliding discs or not, no worries there, and it all is up to you. Okay, Let's begin the workout. The first thing I want to share with you, when I start a program with my students, I want them to choose their perfect squat. Put your feet all the way together. Think about the butt is the boss. So the rear end always goes down first. If you see the upper body tipping over, then that means that their heels then are coming off the floor. They're not as flexible as maybe someone else. So they're trying to overcompensate by twisting their body forward. Anytime you see a shift in the body weight, you want to look at where the base is. And that heel is the most important thing to look at because you want that heel down. So as I go down, my knees are together. I'm going all the way down with my heels on the floor. And ask your students, does this feel good? Some of your students are going to be way up here saying, no, I can't go any lower. This is not my squat. That's okay. Everyone has a different position for their squat. So if you first, in the warm-up, provide them with the opportunity to find their perfect squat, then they can go there. Everyone is not the same. When you squat, you want to make sure that you are imprinting the outside of your foot. You feel the big toe, you feel the heel, absolutely, but you really are emphasizing pushing out with your heels because then your knees will stay directly over your feet and directly underneath your hips. Now let's try a little wider squat. So now I'm going to go all the way down again. Remember, the butt is the boss and my heel goes all the way down to the floor. So for me, this is I feel really good in this squat. This is my perfect squat, but you know what? It might not be yours. It might not be your client's. And then, of course, the heel stays down as you come up. So what I have my students do, I have them go all the way down where they feel comfortable. If their heel pops up, then they're good to go. They don't go any lower. You try to go all the way down. This is called the life squat. And I actually had one of my master trainers in fluid strength. She was teaching a program for Parkinson's patients, and they could not get down this low, of course, at the beginning. But as they progressed and as she guided them to untap their potential, they now are all going all the way to the floor. Now, perhaps they need something to hold on to. That's all right. And also know that coming up is harder than going down. So you might need something like a chair or maybe near the wall, and then they can hold themselves upright when they come up. Take your legs a little further apart. Let's see if that is your perfect squat. Going all the way down, keeping your chest up, your gluteals low. Now this is not my perfect squat. I'm not as flexible here, so I wouldn't choose that squat. Now some people, because of their femur length, because of their flexibility, they might feel more comfortable with their feet angled out, going all the way low. This is not my perfect squat, but you know what? It could be yours. And so your heels are down and as you come up. So in the beginning, when you initiate this activity in fluid strength, I always have them find their perfect squat. Okay, and then what we do is we play there. So this is my perfect squat. So I'm starting low, and then what you want to think about doing is twisting, shifting, lifting at every turn. So if I'm low, I might lift a toe. I'm low, I'm coming up. Now I'm going extremely low in my squats because this is called the life squat, and I've practiced this so many times that this feels so good for me to go full range of motion. However, this might not be as low as some of your students go initially. They might be right here, right? And they actually, when you lift one foot off the floor, you're challenging your balance as well. So you might need a chair here. You might need someone on the side. You might need to be against the wall, and that's totally fine. But initially, you're initiating this beautiful squat. You are elevating your heart rate, and you're feeling good. But I'm in the sagittal plane. I want to work all three planes of movement: frontal, sagittal, and transverse. So as I go down this time, I'm not going to lift. I'm going to twist, and I'm going to come up. I'm going to twist, I'm also visually tracking. This might not be a good opportunity for some of your students. You might want to have them focus forward and twist. That visual tracking as you twist, that's a very advanced move, and that you might want to choose for later. Or after they're really perfected this move, then you say, look over to the side, hang out there, look forward, and then come up. Come down, look over to the side, come forward, and come up. There are many ways to visually track, and this for the active ager is so very important because that visual tracking capability is a skill, but you want to layer on that visual tracking. So again, let me guide you through this. I'm first going to go down just with my body, and I might even lift my arms over my head like this. Then I will say down, twist, then look, then come back, then come up. Then you look and you twist at the same time. Arms up over your head only when you are ready to do so. Okay, from here, I've developed my twisting, so that's transverse plane. I've developed my squat, and now I'm going to lunge. So I'm going to lunge back, and then I'm going to come center, but same leg, lunge back and come center, lunge back and come center. Then we add the twist. We go curtsy lunge and back, curtsy lunge and back, but still looking forward as I do this. If I want to add another twist, I'm going to twist side and back, and then there's that visual tracking where I can look as I go and look as I go and look. So here's where the challenge comes in. I stay low and I press down and I press and I press. Yes, this is still the warm-up press, but that squatting was really the warm-up. Fluid strength is all about integrated patterns of lower body transitioning to upper body and to core, with of course the other body parts helping out. But right now I'm feeling this big time. I stay low, I twist my body over here, and I now reach up all the way. Now there are two ways to do this. I can reach over right now if I'm here and I get the stair, the elevation. So right from here, I then am going to do a side plank, and I'm going to lift up and I'm going to lower down. Now of course you're going to make sure that that's a stable surface that you are holding on to with your hands. So I'm lifting up and I'm lowering down. I'm lifting up and I'm lowering down. Lift and lower, and you see this is huge transition, huge transverse plane that you're working with, right? Okay, from here, holding on, and you're gonna walk in, and then you're gonna step out. Walk in, step out, walk in, step out, walk in here, down low, and then keeping the heels on the floor, you're coming all the way up. That is with the elevation. I'm going to show you the other side with going all the way to the floor. So I'll move this aside, and here we go. We start with this lunge, back and forward, back. So it's after the squat series where I twisted and I turned. So you start with a lunge. Now you're going to go planking to the floor after this curtsy lunge. So again, I'm twisting. I can look with visual tracking. This is the more advanced version, all the way. But no, I'm almost 60, and I'm now training people who are 70, 80, and going all the way to the floor. Now, low as you go, hold on, reach up. Now here's where I change a little. I'm gonna move around in a circle, just like this. And I'm gonna move around in a circle, just like this. I am finding the intricacies in between the movement, front and back, side to side, and that's where fluid strength adds its real creativity because of all the transition opportunities. Now we keep going down this way, okay? I find the floor and I step out. Now notice my front leg is forward, my back leg is back. I'm going to do the same thing as I did on the floor. I lift up, I lower down. I lift up, I lower down. Now, a way to make things harder too is you take away a contact point. A contact point, right now I have 4 contact points. 2 hands, 2 feet. I lift up this arm and I take away the contact point. Oh my gosh. Lift up and lower down. Lift up and lower down. Now I said this is much more advanced, so just know where this can go. Then I'm going to go to a flat and I'm going to walk in like I did before and walk out. Walk in and walk out. Now here's where it really gets fun. I'm going to jump in, jump out. Jump in, jump out. Now here's where it really gets fun. I take away a contact point and I jump in and I jump out. I jump in and I jump out. I come in, I sit back, the butt's the boss, chest is up. Now what helps too is have your hands up, look up, and get up. So what you saw there is that first opportunity, and I'll put my hair back because now we're getting into real activity. I really want you to notice how you can take a very, very hard combination and make it doable for everyone by adding that elevation opportunity. Did you see that? Wasn't that fantastic? Where I took it, wow, and where I started, wow. You have that opportunity. Now you can do the same thing with the gliding discs. With the gliding discs, if you've never used the gliding discs before and you're working with an active ager, start with only 1 foot on the disc so they feel like they have a very good base of support with the other leg. So if I were going to do a lunge, I would lunge back with just 1 leg and I would step forward like this. Lunge back with 1 leg and then step forward like this. Good. As I progress, I can use both discs, but the lunge back here, just like this, and if you notice, I'm on a concrete surface, so this is really for carpeted floor, but I wanted to be in front of the RV because it's such a beautiful backdrop. But you're going to be on a carpeted or a hardwood floor. So doing this. Coming down and low, I can actually push the gliding disc back further. So you add more engagement and movement capability as you do this. This leg is stable. It's all fine and good. Okay. Now I've got the same exact thing that I did before. I first go low, I swing around, but as I swing around to the floor, I grab the other disc and put it under my foot because now I'm going to go out just like this. Okay, and I'm going to lift up and lower down just like that. So you can have the ability for the gliding discs to engage the muscles in the push and the pull of every exercise. But again, let me tell you that this is very challenging, extremely so. All right, let's go to the next combination, the back lunge and lift. All righty, taking the leg back. Now this is called a Bulgarian lunge. The shifting is the most important thing that you want to remember when you're dealing with muscle engagement. So right now in the Bulgarian lunge, I am putting my body weight straight down the center. So I'm feeling it when I go up and down or hold the position. I'm feeling it in my hip flexor and also my quadricep first. Now that's not saying I'm not using the other muscles as well of the accessory muscles of the hamstring and the inner thigh and the outer thigh, abductor, adductor. However, I'm mostly going to fatigue this first. And your students are going to say, oh my gosh, I really feel it in my quad. You do. When you shift your body, take your leg back and your body weight forward, you are putting your body weight over other muscles. So I'm now working my hamstring and my gluteal right here. So I want to start in this position. So I'm going to start forward and I'm going to do that back lunge. If you have an elevation opportunity, you place it right in front of you and you have them step back and hold on to the chair. Step back, hold on to the chair. Step back, hold on to the chair, right? Right like this, all the way back and all the way in. And boy, do you feel it. It is crazy fantastic. But utilizing all the areas of the leg, so going super, super slow, okay? All the way back, all the way in. Now, if you want to, you can actually, for them, you could have turned it this way because now you have this position and this position here. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to lift up, back and balance, back and balance, back and balance. I'm going to add, so if you notice, I went full range of motion, then I added a balance challenge. Now I'm going to add a jump and lift, up and down, 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 up and down. From here, I'm going to kick open the door, kick. I can have a kickstand behind me and tap, or I can up, out, up, out, up and out, up and out, up and out, up and out. From here, I go right into core, which I bend forward and then lift up. Bend forward and lift up. Keeping my back straight, bracing my core at every turn, squaring my hips, utilizing the standing leg for sure, and holding there. And then lifting up and pressing right here. Now what I didn't do is I didn't do the plank on the floor. And I'm going to show you the more advanced version now. So here it is, the more advanced version. I start here. I lift up and down. So I'm going all the way into that Brazilian lunge. Up, all the way, full range motion. Then you jump, jump, and jump, and jump. Then you kick open that door. Kick, 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 kick. Then you go to the floor and you lift, keeping your back super straight, squaring the hips as you go. Then I come down, bending and straightening, bending and straightening. Stay bent, either walk or jump back, plank position, lift and lower, lift and lower. Now here are two opportunities for the contact point. I'm going to keep that leg down and just pull in and push out. Now here is that core, because I can turn it to one side, turn it out to the other side, turn it in and turn it out, or I can jump this leg in and out, just like I did with the last series. Jump in, jump out, jump in, jump out, jump in, sit back. Now here's where that transition matters. My heel is down, right? My chest is up, my hands are up. I look up and I get up. But how can I do that for someone that has a trouble getting to the floor? Again, elevation opportunity. I can do all of that movement. So if I wanted to bring my leg in at the very last move, I can keep this leg down as a contact point and come in and go out and come in and go out. I can come in center and I can rock back. Come in center and rock back. So I can do the same exact choreography, but elevated so that everyone has an opportunity to be successful. And that's the key. The key is always looking at what movement is challenging within the exercise. So let me show you, before we move to the next one, let me just show you a really simple way to teach a push-up that I found. Now elevation is always the best way. This is always the best way. Down and lift. Always, because they can get full range of motion. Push-up's not great if you just do kneeling, right? Or if they just do little ones, just like this. What you want to do is you want to think about getting up is the hardest part. So go down regular, ding, 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 drop the legs on the floor, and then pick yourself back up again. And you're in the perfect position because I'm not on my knees, I'm above my knees. All right, sound good? Okay, let's try it one more time. Just go down, down, and coming up. Let's move on to the next series. The third sequence for fluid strength, I'm going to show you the more advanced version first. You start with your legs wide. You're going to take your body weight over to one side, shift it over so far that you can almost lift this foot off the floor. Staying low, explore the moments in the movement right here. Now, same thing other side, all the way, going very slow, down, exploring the moments. Instead of saying, we're gonna do 10 of these, 1 and 2 and 3. When you cue that way, your student is just thinking, I'm getting to 10. This way, without telling them how many they have to do, they're exploring and staying in this moment. They're not thinking about the next movement. They're thinking about this one right here and how it feels in between the start and the stop of the exercise. Now, this is the most difficult portion. You're going to come all the way over to one side and you're going to see if you can put your body weight all the way on this leg that you can hold on to here. Of course, you can have a balance challenge opportunity to hold on to something if you want to. You're going to then take your leg all the way behind and then all the way in front. Again, this is the most advanced position or opportunity for this exercise pattern. You're going to go all the way back and all the way in front. Got it? Now you're going to go all the way back and you're going to lunge down as low as you possibly can. Now I'll turn sideways so you can see. All the way low. I'm then going to take my leg and I'm going to go into a quadruped position. I'm here at 90-degree angles and I'm going to rock back and find my lowest squat. Coming forward again, find your quadruped. Going back again, find your lowest squat. Forward again, find quadruped. From here, making sure your shoulder blades are in your pockets, your chest wall is open, you start marching your feet in and out, and in and out. Sitting down now, heels. And what are we gonna do? We're gonna stand up, the heel is down, the chest is up, the butt is the boss, right? Now you can see where this exercise will go when you have the elevation opportunity. From here, just say I had 2 places where I could hold on to. I stay low and I hold on to this, say, or I'm against the wall and I can go from one side to the other side. Got it? One side. Then I come down, I bring that, I hold on to my elevation opportunity. I lift my leg, I go behind me, and I come in front. I go behind, and I come in front. I go behind, lunging, quadruped here, okay, straight, quadruped, straight, quadruped, staying in quadruped and see if I can run right here, in and out, and in and out, and in and out. Again, keeping my back straight. You might have an active older adult that needs to be up higher still, and then you'll use the back of the chair or higher elevation opportunity. Then if you want to, you can even jump right here. Okay, because if I'm down here, I can jump this way. But if I'm here holding on, I can still jump. And then of course, heels down, look up, and then stand up. So I can do that exact move with the chair and the floor. Let's go into opportunity number 4. Downward dog. This is fantastic with the elevation opportunity. So I'm right here, I go right to downward dog. Boom. Okay, I'm going to pull my body forward and I'm going to extend up just like this. From here, I'm going to lift one leg up and come back. And again, I hopped, but you certainly don't have to. You can walk the leg. Then I'm going to come in, tap, and then come up again, and tap, and come up again, bringing this leg with this hand with this leg to the center. That's super important. Make sure that you have that in the center, because what we're going to do now is we're going to twist around and we're going to lift up. Okay? Now, is this for everybody? No, but you know what? It has an opportunity for everyone. If you modify, if you regress the activity. So now I'm here, and then I can come right back to here into my downward dog. Lift this leg up, pull in, again up, pull to one side, up, I can pull to the other side, up, hold here before anything happens, move that hand in the center, come back, lift, up. Or keeping the hand down here, that's okay too. You don't have to ever lift the hands over the head. Lifting the hands over the head for anything that you do might lead to increased blood pressure, and you want to be careful of that. So for active agers, they do not have to lift their hands up over their head at any moment. They can always keep their hands below their heart, and that's okay. Also, you notice that I put my head was below my heart as well. Transition slowly as you come back to a standing position, nice and slow, holding on to that elevation opportunity. Let me show you that same sequence in the advanced position. Okay, moving the elevation opportunity out of the equation, I'm coming all the way down to a downward dog position. I'm going to move my body. Now, if I were using the gliding discs, I wouldn't have to move my body, move my feet, because they would just glide into position. So that's a really fun thing to do too. So now I move one leg to the center and I lift up this leg. I'm going to come all the way forward. I'm going to tap my elbow to my knee, tap my elbow to my knee, tap my elbow, knee, come all the way up again. Swing this leg around, so transverse plane, and come all the way up. Yes, that's awesome. All right, one more time. Here we go. Coming back to downward dog here. Swinging your body all the way through to an upward dog position, or I'm not a real yogi, so it sort of looks like that. And then jumping in, lifting this leg up, coming in center. Now this time I might go all the way out or all the way out. And then bringing my leg up again, swinging around, coming to center, lifting up, coming back to a plank, walking my heels in, driving my heels down, because in fluid strength, whenever we're in a plank position or down on the floor, we always use the transition of getting to standing appropriately. That means we engage everything. So my heels are down, my chest wall is up, and I stand up. So that is the most advanced position. 2 patterns to go. Hip dip, lunge pass. I love this one. I'm actually going to angle it this way so you can see. Now I do have the gliding disc here. Remember, you can use the gliding disc in all of these patterns. Just remember, it's more challenging that way. So it's hard. Initially, have your students learn the movement patterns without any accessory equipment, because your body weight is your best tool, and then add in the gliding discs as they get better. Alrighty, hip dip first. I'll show you the modified version and then the more advanced version. You start again with your hands elevated. You hip dip on one side, center. You hip dip on one side, and you go center. You repeat that pattern a few times. You lunge then forward with one leg. Now this is the most important part. You then move this arm into the center, because you want to have that good tripod effect, because if you forget that, then they're off kilter. So you've got to move this hand into the center. Then this arm is now free, or it doesn't have to be. You can hold on to the end here. That's totally fine too. Or you can hold on to the quad, and then you can bring yourself forward a little more. Now this might be all they want to go, and that's fine. But an opportunity here is to take that back leg and swing it forward. Now you can put it on the ground if you want to, or you can lift it up right here, and then you go back center. Now let me show you another version on the other side. I hold here, I hip dip, and I hip dip, and I hip dip, and I hip dip. I lunge forward with that outside leg, move my hand in, but then I come forward and I try to grab my leg somewhere. All right, this is of course more advanced. And then from here I do a tricep dip right here. Now how do you modify this? I put this hand here and do a little tricep dip. I don't go as low doing a tricep dip. I can do lots of different things. I can hold my leg here doing this tricep dip. Is it more advanced? Yes, it is. However, many people can do this when you progress appropriately. Let me show you the entire sequence without elevation opportunity, okay? You've got your lunge here, or your plank. You lunge forward, yes? Bringing your back leg forward. I'm gonna hold on to my shoe and I'm gonna tricep dip here. Now notice this tricep dip actually is not as deep, as engaged as the one up top. So that tricep dip is actually harder because you've got more range of motion to play with. Now what I love to do here, this is fun, is to hold on to your shoe and to move back this way, all the way, and then you let it go into that plank. From here, I'll do the same thing. Hip dip, hip dip, hip dip, hip dip, lunge forward, swing through, and then tricep dip right here. Good. And then swing back and let go at the very last second and go back to a plank position. Good. So you've seen both the most advanced version on the floor and then also the easier version with the elevation opportunity. The last sequence is a seated V sit with a bridge. So a seated V, of course, would be just like this. But you want to think about when you do a V sit, it's very challenging for your students to keep that nice alignment with your back. It actually turns into a U sit. Have you seen this? Of course. So with the hands helping to pull the upper body forward, that's a wonderful option for you. I'll show you also on the chair as well. So you're up here like this, yes? Your back is straight, everything is wonderful. Then you ask your students if they can take one contact point away. So it might be this hand. And then you check them out. And if you see somebody doing bloop, then you know they're not ready yet. And that's okay. They can keep their hands just here. You take away a contact point. You take away a contact point. You invite them to go to the next level. But if they feel that, oh my gosh, I'm losing something. So always have at the beginning, when you initiate the exercise, have them focus on one or two items, not a whole laundry list because then they can't focus on anything, but one or two. So have them start here and then say, your focus for this exercise is sitting on your sit bones, and have everybody kind of crush in your sit bones here, and also keeping your back as straight as possible. If anything changes as we move on and progress, then you know to go back to the regression prior to this one. Easy peasy. But you're inviting them to try it. Try the next level. If you like it, great. If you don't, then you know that you have a regression opportunity to go back to. So here we are. We're right here. Yes? You take this guy away. You take this guy away. If this is good, then you're going to go into a bridge. You're going to articulate your spine down, and at the same time you bridge up. You articulate your spine down, and you lift up. Now it's kind of tough because we're going to progress on, and we're going to add those elements of shifting, twisting, and taking contact points away. So as we go all the way down and we lift up, we're going to shoot our shoulder over to one side. So your hip lifts, your shoulder lifts, and now you've twisted. You come back to center and you lift yourself up again. Again, we go down all the way. We bring our hips up and we twist to that side. And we come down and we lift. So this is the most advanced because, of course, I can also do this on the chair. So then we take away another contact point, okay? So now we go all the way down, you lift up, you shift, but also with the opposing leg. And then you come down and you lift yourself up again. Good. Same thing other side. We're gonna come all the way down. As you shift your body weight, that leg also comes up, and then you lift all the way up again. Good. So let's do the same thing, elevated in a chair. Super, super simple. So here I am in the chair, okay? I find my V-sit. Now, a great way to really teach the V-sit is having them sitting back at an angle so their body weight is straight and everything is good. Now, instead of lifting my hands here, I'm gonna hold on to the chair and I'm just gonna see if I can lift a leg and lift a leg here and then lifting both legs, okay? So I could be just like that. I'm keeping my core straight. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold on to that chair, I'm gonna lift my legs up like a V-sit, and then I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna lift my hips. Okay, this is really good for triceps too. I'm gonna come up and I can even sit at the edge of my chair and then I lift up. What if that is too challenging? What do? You hold on here, you lift, right? And then all you do is come up a little. Yeah. Lift other side, come up a little, just a little bit. Good, same thing. Then you want to think about that twisting. So I've lifted up, I've come down, I've come up, but I have to then again move my hand into the center. So I shift that hand into the center because I've got now a tripod. See how I have a tripod effect? If I were to keep my hand over on that side, I would cantilever that, that chair, and that's not a good thing. So here I'm over here. I come down, I reposition my hands, and I sit back. So as you are cueing, one thing at a time, meticulously cueing those variations of shifting, and that's what changes the game. Not going fast, also not counting. So fluid strength is not counting at all. And I referenced this earlier in our session. When you count, you're thinking about getting to the end of the count. What I want with fluid strength is moments in movement to matter, right? Every moment in that movement pattern matters. So for example, we have our hands here. We're V-sitting here, lifting up slow, lowering down, extending up, shifting. What does that feel like to shift that hand? And then to lift up, right? And then to come down, and then to shift back, and then to come all the way back. Now let's see if we can also lift the legs. So this again is more advanced, and maybe a lot of your clients and students will never go here, but it is an option, and you know, they can do a little more than they think that they can. But it's up to you to determine what that is, what you support. So ready? Hands here, V-sit first, coming down, lifting up, moving the hand, twisting up, and then seeing if you can then change that angle so you've got just 2 points of contact. Is it going to be too much for some of your clients? Absolutely. But you know what? Some might be able to do that. Okay, same thing. But do you see how I've progressed this opportunity for involvement and encouraging them to go a little bit further, starting with the base move. We start with what is safe and what is the base. Then you build on the base and the foundation. If you go right up to level 3 or level 4, they will never be successful because they haven't built that strong base, right? Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. So we come all the way out, you move the hand over, you lift this arm up, and then you see if you can take that leg as well. And then come here, and then come back, and there you go. Woo! 6 of those patterns. So let's go over really quick again what they were. We first started with the squat, whichever squat was right for you. We went into the lunge, the curtsy, and then the plank sideways. So we did shifting, turning, twisting, using all three planes of movement, frontal, sagittal, and transverse. We then did the back lunge and the lift, and this is awesome because if you've noticed, most of my standing up exercises are definitely closed chain in nature and definitely unilateral in their effect. Okay, unilateral means that I'm using one leg or one arm, so they've got a balanced challenge in the mix, which is very important. I don't just stay in a bilateral situation, because remember, we do not live in a bilateral world. When we walk, we shift from one foot to the other foot to the other foot, right? We don't walk like this, boom, 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 right? So we always want to train in this functional sense of I'm going to shift my body weight over to one side, then I'm going to shift it back over to the other side, and what happens in between the shifting during that shift, which is very important. Okay, so the second one was the back lunge and the lift, and then we added a little bit of propulsion there to get a little jumping, and then a lot of balance in the mix, going down then into a plank if that was appropriate for your students. Side loaded lunge is all the way here to the side and back again, lifting up on one leg, bringing her back, bringing her forward, and then going into that quadruped position, either on the chair or off. The fourth one was the downward dog to the knee in and switch. Remember, if you want to do that a little bit less range of motion, you can always change the ROM whenever you need to if that elongation is not an option for your students and your clients. We did that both elevated and then on the floor. The hip dip lunge through, we did elevated and on the floor also. So this guy right here, the coming forward, the twisting forward, that one, we did that one. And then the seated V to the bridge, we did that as well. All right, so let's cool down now. So we did 6 sequences, both with the opportunity for elevation and also standing to floor or just standing. Seated right here, shoulders down, part of fluid strength also. This program, it's a 4-hour certification course. I have this available on our website, onedaytowellness.org, if you'd like to. And there it is right there. onedaytowellness.org. Again, we are a nonprofit, so anything, if you go on our website and you see a t-shirt, or I just wrote a book called The Plant-Powered Penis, and my husband just wrote a book called A Plant-Powered Approach to Prostate Cancer. These are both perfect for your demographic. Anything that you purchase from our website it goes to our nonprofit. So we are a true 501c corporation, so we appreciate everything. But if you would like to get certified in fluid strength and have a fluid strength t-shirt, then you just go on to our website and you can purchase fluid strength there. Right now, the course is only $70, $69.99. It's half off its price, and you get 4 CECs for taking that certification course. It really does a deep dive into all of this. All right, for the cool down, take one arm over and stretch. Now think about the intricacies of the exercise. Our students are thinking about just getting to the end point and reaching and doing what the instructor does, but what is your focus? So before you begin an exercise combination, you want to say the focus is this hip needs to stay on the floor. The focus also is the most elongation you can get on this side with this hip staying on the floor. So you lift up right here. Good. Same thing on the other side. Hip stays down as you lift up. And you know that your body is varied and needs to work on both sides. So we change then our cross of our legs, and we do the same thing over again. Lifting, encourage our students to notice if there's any variations in what they did. Now I can hold on to the gliding discs now with my hands, and I actually could take my hand out to the side like this, and it actually encourages us to go a little bit further than we did before, all the way out. Good. And then bringing yourself all the way forward and then all the way back. And again, with the gliding disc, it allows your body to open up. Good, and extend. And taking time here. In fluid strength also, what we do that again, please, is we encourage mindful movement, creating a mental mindset in the beginning of the exercise and the whole exercise series. So if you're meeting with your students for an hour, you take the beginning of the class to create this mental mindset of where are we going today? You have a different focus for every day. Maybe it's breathing throughout the exercise. Maybe it's full flexion, full extension. Now taking your legs out, crossing over one side, taking the gliding disc back with you and stretch. Good. Also in fluid strength, at the end of the class, we have a calm series where we do a little bit of mindful meditation. And if someone just wants to call it breathing or calm or whatever they want to call it, that's totally fine. But you want to have a focus of just being. Coming forward, going to the other side, and stretch. Many times we're so busy in our lives that we exercise, but we don't then unwind. And we want to have that opportunity for unwinding. So what I do in the end of my teaching for fluid strength is I have them either sit or lie down, and I have them close their eyes. And my focus today would be, what did you do today that you've never done before? Did you squat lower because you were squatting with intention and thoughtfulness? And squatting in a way that, or lunging or planking or whatever it is, in a way that encouraged those moments in movement to be the star of the show, right? Again, as an instructor, we can help and encourage our students to find those moments in movement that really matter. Encouraging our students to go further and deeper than they've gone before. Again, I have noticed so many people that only squatted like just 90 degrees because they were told for years and years, don't squat below 90 degrees. But when you look at the global view of functional movement, we twist and turn and rotate and move in a way that throughout our lives, into our 90s and 100s, we have the capability of full range of motion because we've used that full range of motion. If you go to Italy, you might see your students standing and sitting and climbing up these hills that in the United States, we might not see our elders doing that. But why can they do that? They can do that because they've been doing that their whole entire lives. So fluid strength is encouraging a global view on movement capability. And thank you so much for joining me. And I hope that you got something from this that was deeper than just learning how to squat or lunge or push up or whatever. Because at the end of the day, it's helping our students at whatever age to move freely. Move freely. And what's our best toy? Our best toy and tool is our own body weight. So again, my name is Mindy Mylrea. My website is onedaytowellness.org. I've got books. My husband has a book. We have our program, One Day to Wellness, and we are on the web. So come join us. Thank you so much.